Being rude is part of our nature. We all have been rude at one point in time or another. We say things without thinking sometimes, which can hurt people around us. But when it comes to rudeness, some cultures are more polite than others. When you travel nonstop for months, like I have, you start picking up on the different levels of politeness in each country. So today I'm going to tell you about the top 10 rudest countries I've ever traveled to. This list is based off my own experiences and opinions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing travel experiences. Number 10, Korea. I have to preface this by saying that rudeness in Korea is not intentional. The language literally does not have a word for please. They don't really have a word for thank you either. They do have an honorific speech level for elders, but it's not used as much anymore. In general, Koreans are a very polite culture, and they will never say anything that's offensive to you. They just don't think of it. It's their everyday, normal life. So they just don't know any better. There's no ill intent behind it. Number 9, Germany. Germans are known for being direct and honest. And while that's great for business, it can also come across as being rude, especially to Americans who are used to small talk and beating around the bush. Germans are straight to the point, and if you ask them a question, they will answer it honestly, even if it might hurt your feelings a little bit. But overall, the German people are very polite, and it doesn't happen all that often. It just happens enough where I noticed it. I've had people be rude to me in Germany. Number 8, France. French people don't hold back when it comes to expressing themselves. And what might seem like a rude comment to an outsider is actually just everyday conversation in France. One example is using the word stupid as an adjective. So if someone says something stupid, it doesn't mean they're calling you stupid. It just means that thing is stupid. Another example is swearing in public. It's pretty common in France to hear people swear in public, even on TV, so it's not really seen as rude or offensive. Overall, French people are not rude at all. They're just very passionate and expressive with their language. And I love that about them. No. 7. China. Chinese people are very straightforward and don't sugarcoat things, which can come across as being rude to foreigners. For example, if someone doesn't like your shirt, they'll tell you. If someone thinks your food is disgusting, they'll tell you. They're not trying to be rude. That's just how they live their daily lives. There's no reason for them to lie and say everything's great when it's obviously not. Most people in China are very honest and straightforward, which I admire. And while it can be a bit of a shock to foreigners, it's just part of the culture. Number 6, Japan. Japanese people are generally very polite and respectful towards each other. They take things to such an extreme that it can sometimes be seen as rude to outsiders. For example, they bow so low to each other that it's almost a 90-degree angle. And they use honorifics in their language to show respect. And while these things are not necessarily rude, they can be seen as strange or awkward to people from other cultures who are not used to it. But overall, Japanese people are very kind and respectful, even if it is sometimes taken to an extreme. Number 5, Thailand. Thai people are known for being very friendly and welcoming, but they can also be quite cheeky and sarcastic. And while it's not meant to be rude, it can definitely come across that way to foreigners who are not used to it. For example, Thai people will often playfully argue with each other, even among friends. And it's not uncommon to hear them say things like "you re so stupid" or "shut up." But it's all said in a joking manner, and it's not meant to be taken seriously. Thai people are very playful and sarcastic, and it's all part of their sense of humor. So while it may not seem rude on the surface, it can definitely be a shock to foreigners who are not used to it. Number 4, India. Indians are known for being very friendly and hospitable, but they can also be quite loud and in your face. And while it's not meant to be rude, it can definitely come across that way to foreigners who are not used to it. For example, Indian people will often talk with their hands and arms in a very animated way, and they're not afraid to get up close and personal when they talk to someone. This can be a shock to foreigners who are not used to it, but it's all part of the culture. Indians are very passionate people, and they love to express themselves. So while it may not seem rude on the surface, it can definitely be a shock to foreigners who are not used to it. No. 3. Russia. Russians are known for being very direct and straightforward, and they don't really sugarcoat things, which can come across as being rude to foreigners. For example, if someone doesn't like something, they'll just say it. If someone thinks something is stupid, they'll just say it. They don't really care about other people's feelings. And while this can be seen as refreshing by some foreigners who are used to beating around the bush, It can also come across as being insensitive. Russians are not really big on small talk, and they'll get straight to the point. This can be seen as rude by some foreigners who are not used to it. But overall, Russians are not really trying to be rude. They just don't care about other people's feelings. Number 2, Indonesia. Indonesian people are known for being very friendly and helpful, but they can also be quite pushy and in your face. And while it's not meant to be rude, it can definitely come across that way to foreigners who are not used to it. For example, Indonesian people will often try to help you with things whether you want it or not. And they're not afraid to get up close and personal when they talk to someone. And while this can be seen as helpful by some foreigners, it can also come across as being intrusive. Indonesian people are very passionate people, and they love to help others. So while it may not seem rude on the surface, it can definitely be a shock to foreigners who are not used to it. Number 1, United States. Yep, I said it. The rudest country I've ever traveled to is the United States. I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree with me on this one, but let me explain why. First of all, Americans are very individualistic, and they put their own needs before others. And while this can be seen as selfish by some, it's just part of the culture. Americans are also very casual, and they don't really care about social status. They call everyone bro or dude, even if they've never met them before. And while this can be seen as cool and laid back by some, it can also come across as being disrespectful. Finally, Americans are very competitive, and they always have to win. They don't really care about other people's feelings. And while this can be seen as driven and ambitious by some, it can also come across as being aggressive and hostile. Overall, Americans are not really big on manners, and they just do uncare what other people think of them. And while this can be seen as refreshing by some, it can also come across as being downright rude. Alright, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more epic stories and check out my podcast. Leave a like if you learned something new and a peace sign if you made it all the way through. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.